Hi everyone, this is Veronica. Today we are going to discuss a topic about Make in India. So this is a very old scheme, but here we'll analyze the progress of this scheme till now. For my video updates and queries, you can connect with me on Instagram and Facebook because I feel together we can make a difference. Now see, this is for you, flat 70% off on all our pen drive and Android courses. This is the Republic Day sale and it is valid till 27 Jan 2020. Now here we'll discuss what is the relevance of this topic. It will be covered in your mains paper 3. At objective level, you should know about this scheme, and at subjective level, you should know about its performance and the reasons why they are saying that it's not able to deliver its set goals. So see, 5 years after its launch, it's appropriate time to take the stock of the progress made by Make in India. So almost in October, it completed its 5 years. So today we'll discuss about the progress. What are the outcomes of this particular scheme? So firstly, let's revise Make in India. What was this initiative? It was basically promised the investors, both the domestic investors and the overseas investors, for a conducive environment to turn 125 crore population strong India. So we wanted to give a conducive environment in India as a manufacturing hub and something that will create job opportunities. So that's in fact a plunge into a very serious business, that it is also punctuated with two inherent elements in any innovation. For example, new avenues or tapping of opportunities, and as well we want to face the challenges to keep the right balance. So they they had some achievable targets. I have just made a list of what they said initially that they want to achieve. For example, a target of an increase in manufacturing sector growth to 12 to 14% increase in share of manufacturing in the country's GDP to create 100 million additional jobs, creating appropriate skills, an increase in domestic value addition and technological depth, enhancing global competitiveness, ensuring sustainability of growth also. So they here I have listed achievable targets. So now I will divide these objectives into 3 main objectives which were linked with Make in India project initiative. So first is manufacturing growth rate at 12 to 14%. So these are the 3 main objectives of this initiative. So the first objective is to increase the manufacturing sector's growth rate to 12 to 14% per annum in order to increase the sector's share in the economy. Second objective is to create 100 million jobs, additional manufacturing jobs in the economy by 2022. Then the third objective is to ensure that the manufacturing sector's contribution to GDP is increased to 25%. So initially they kept a limit of 2022, but then it was revised to 2025 from the current 16%. So these are the 3 main objectives. Now we will do the assessment. So as the policy changes, they were intended to usher growth in 3 key variables. So what are the 3 key variables of manufacturing sector? First is your investment. So we will assess the investments. We will assess the second, that is output. Third is your employment. Okay, employment growth especially. Okay, so firstly let's talk about progress on the investment front. So we are witnessing a slow growth. So last 5 years witnessed slow growth of investment in our economy, and this is more so when we consider capital investments in the manufacturing sector. Then we are watching a decline in the gross fixed capital formation. So gross fixed capital formation of private sector, it has declined. So it has declined to 28.6% of GDP. So this is for the year 2017 and 2018. So why it has declined? Because if you look at 2013 and 14, it was 31.3%. So this has been reported by Economic Survey of India 2018-19 that there is a decline in gross fixed capital formation, which was 31.3% in 13-14 and now it is 28.6% of GDP in 17-18. Then gross fixed capital formation is basically the measure of aggregate investment. Then talking about increase in private sector saving, but there is decrease in investment. So what is this? Because your household savings have declined while your private corporate sector savings have increased. But this is a scenario where the private sector savings have increased but investments have decreased. So despite policy measures to provide a good investment climate, you are witnessing a decrease in investment. So now we'll shift to output. What is the progress of the output in the output growth front? So firstly, double digit growth only in 2 quarters we have seen. The monthly index of industrial production pertaining to manufacturing has registered double digit growth rates only on 2 occasions. There was a period in April 2012 and then we have watched that in November 2019. So below 3% for most of the months. The data show that for majority of the months it was 3% or even less, even below, and even negative for some months. So when we say negative growth, that means negative growth implies to the contraction of the sectors, that the sector is contracting. And if we look at the employment growth, there is no progress at all. The employment, especially industrial employment, has not grown to keep pace with the rate of new entries into the labor market. So that means there are certain problems with the policy. So here we have recognized this initiative that there are two major lacunae, two major problems. First problem is too much reliance on the foreign capital. So as you see, I'll read this for you. The bulk of these schemes relied too much on the foreign capital for the investments and the global market for produce. So this has created what it has created? Inbuilt uncertainty. That means as domestic production had to be planned according to the demand and supply conditions elsewhere where we have not kept an eye for. And second is lack of implementation. So the policy implementers need to take into account the implications of implementation, because there is somewhere problem in the implementation. The result of such a policy is evident in large number of stalled projects. So if you say there are many hampered, stopped, stalled projects in India, the spate of policy announcements without having preparedness. So what they do, they announce a certain policy but they are underprepared or not prepared at all to take it to the execution level. So this is known as policy casualness, that their approach is very casual when it comes to execution. It's very easy to announce but you are not able to implement it properly. So Make in India has been plagued by large number of underprepared initiatives. So I can say that there are many reasons that why Make in India almost failed to perform, because you have too much ambitious goals. It is set out to ambitious growth rates for manufacturing sector to be achieved. For example, beyond capacity rate for the sector, you set it to 12 to 14% growth, and it is well beyond the capacity of industrial sector. Then overestimation of implementation capacity, you are announcing and you are not ready. So to expect to build capabilities for such a quantum jump is perhaps an enormous overestimation of implementation capacity of the government, that's why they failed. Then dealing, so this is the first. So second is dealing with too many sectors. The initiative brought in too many sectors into its fold. So that is why where we can see lack of policy focus, because you have a general policy for all the factors and sectors. You need a specific policy. So this general policy is failing all because you have brought in too many sectors into your fold. Then lack of understanding of comparative advantages, because it is seen as a policy devoid of any understanding of comparative advantages on the domestic economy. And moreover, some experts say there was an ill time to launch this, because given the uncertainties in the global economy, ever rising trade protectionism, globalization is declining, there is a period of deglobalization, the initiative was spectacularly ill-timed. So to conclude, we can say in order to revive Make in India, there is a need to make necessary changes in the policy and root out the causes associated with the policy implementation. But yes, there are certain positive outcomes also. For example, foreign direct investment has increased from $16 billion in 2013 to $36 billion in 2015 and 16. This is a good thing, but again there is a catch, that it has not increased further. It is not contributing to Indian industrialization. Then FDI's manufacturing sector are becoming weak. although that is again a negative point. But FDIs in the service sector is 23.5 billion, so more than 3 times that of manufacturing sector. So this shows that Indian economy's traditional strong points of having remarkably developed computer services, and India's share in global exports, again this is very low, 2%. If we are comparing with China, their share is 18%. But again, if we have to look at the positive side of Make in India, then we should know that Make in India initiative led to radiant growth in the IT and manufacturing sectors. This has encouraged various global foreign investors to make investments in India. It has made an accountable growth in the country's GDP. The zero defect, zero effect phrase which came with Make in India campaign has shown positive impact on all kind of these micro, small and medium enterprises. As a result, many companies are manufacturing good with zero defects and ensuring that goods have zero effect on environment. Then implementation of GST, more companies have set up several manufacturing units throughout India. Digitization initiatives, first indigenously developed manufactured rotavirus, we have separate video on it also. Rotavirus vaccine, Rotovac, it was launched. 30 bio incubators and biotech parks were supported. So there are good things also, but we cannot deny the issues we are having with this. Issues like investment from shell companies. Large part of Indian FDI is neither foreign nor direct, but it comes from Mauritius based shell companies, and we suspect that they are investing their black money in India. Then there is low productivity, because there is a report by McKinsey report which says that Indian workers in the manufacturing sector are on average almost 4 and 5 times less productive than their counterparts in Thailand and China. We have smaller industrial units, we have complicated labor laws, infrastructure is less, transportation price. So if you compare transportation of China and India, average speeds in China are 100 km per hour, in India you have 60 km per hour. So definitely investors would like to invest in China. Then red tapeism is major thing, because bureaucratic procedures and corruption make India very less attractive for investors. Then you have insufficient rules and regulations in the country. So we need to recognize these issues. That is why somewhere Make in India is still unsuccessful. If we want to make it a success, we need to work on these issues, because now it's 5 years we are watching what has worked for this initiative Make in India and what has not worked. So what we can say as a way forward, that Indian government has to take more initiatives to create a conducive environment for the growth of industries and especially manufacturing system, and a targeted approach is needed. As many sectors have been involved, we need specific approach, specific policies for each sector if we need to address this issue. So this is all about today's lecture. If you have any queries, you can contact me on social media. For your PDF, you can contact me on Telegram, t.me/Veronica_Om, or you can just simply search Veronica Study IQ, you'll find me. Thank you.